Please welcome Professor John Coleman.
Thank you very much, Paula. I have a great honor here to introduce to you two alumni who, despite their unbelievably full lives and full calendars, found the time to come back to UW-Madison to help us in the Department of Political Science. They're on our Board of Visitors. They're great friends of the department, and I always know as the chair of the department that I can count on them when I need some advice and some help. So let me tell you a little bit more about them. Bob Barnett is what is referred to in Washington, D.C. circles as a super lawyer. He represents major corporations. He's well known for arranging book deals for former presidents, government officials, other public figures, and he does this across party and ideological lines. I think it's fair to say that he knows everyone, and everyone wants to know him. As a recent article in the Washington Post put it, to list Barnett as a signifier of Washington connectedness is like calling the sun a symbol of heat. Rita Braver is a super journalist, a word that I've just invented for the occasion. She has had a distinguished career at CBS News as an editor, producer, and reporter on legal and political news. She served as CBS's chief White House correspondent during the Lincoln. Okay, I was thinking of Clinton and the Lincoln bedroom connection, I guess. The Clinton presidency, though she's a big fan of Abraham Lincoln, I'm sure that also is part of it too. She is now the chief senior correspondent on CBS Sunday Morning. Her terrific work has been recognized with numerous awards, including 5 Emmy Awards. During my time as chair working with them on the Board of Visitors, I've learned a few things about them that I'd like to share. First, they have an absolute blast in their careers. That's quite clear anytime you talk with them. They are passionate about this place, about the University of Wisconsin. They love meeting with students and sharing their wisdom about politics, government, media, and careers. They are gracious, funny, and personable. They are truly a team as well. When I asked them whether they'd be interested in speaking to a class today on public opinion during their visit, Bob replied that this was a perfect arrangement because he has opinions and Rita has facts. I did get an email later today from Professor Kathy Walsh, who was running the class, and she said, to quote, "It was a hoot." And I have no surprise that it was. It's been a delight and a privilege to get to know them over these past few years and to work with them. Let's learn more about the adventures of Bob Barnett and Rita Braver.
Politics might be the underpinning of the life Robert Barnett and Rita Braver share together. But in their careers, they are decidedly undecided. Bob is a renowned Washington attorney, Rita a senior correspondent for CBS News, and through their work to share viewpoints from across the political spectrum and around the world, they keep America informed and entertained. Their exposure to politics started early. Bob grew up in Waukegan, Illinois. His father worked for the federal government. In high school, Bob was active in debate and theater and discovered a gift for memorizing long speeches. In Washington, D.C., Rita's parents also worked for the government. She nurtured an early interest in journalism by creating her own newspapers, first in her neighborhood and at camp, then in junior high school. She was the first girl to be named editor-in-chief of her high school newspaper. Bob and Rita say they were each inspired to attend the University of Wisconsin after experiencing the vitality of campus during their first visits to Madison.
I fell in love with the place like everyone does. I immediately was struck by the beauty, the grandeur, and the energy of the lakes, the buildings, the hill.
It was one of those magical days that you get in Madison. People were sitting out by the lake, and it looked like the most fabulous place to be. I went to a class and fell in love with the school.
Rita and Bob were both studious undergraduates, drawn to courses in political science and English. Bob remembers the impression made by the array of courses available in the campus timetable.
I thought, how can you choose? It was 300 single-spaced pages of everything the human mind could seek.
As the feminist movement grew and the Vietnam War shaped campus life, Rita says she enjoyed the exciting time as a reporter for the Daily Cardinal.
I have strong memories of academics, but a stronger sense of a place where you were encouraged to think, stretch your intellect, and consider possibilities. I went to anti-war protests, not so much as a participant, but more as an observer. I always saw myself as a reporter.
Their courtship began in a law school study hall. After their first study date, Bob asked Rita to marry him.
I was dead serious and crushed when she said no.
But they continued to date, and 5 years later, he asked her again. They married in New Orleans in 1972. Rita was working her first job at the CBS affiliate in New Orleans. Bob had finished his law degree at the University of Chicago and was clerking for a Louisiana federal judge. When Bob was offered a clerkship at the U.S. Supreme Court, they moved to Washington, D.C. Bob then worked on Capitol Hill for U.S. Senator Walter Mondale. This sparked his lifelong interest in politics and his work on 8 national presidential campaigns.
I had a great feeling that I was contributing to the destiny of the country and also deeply enmeshed in politics at the highest level.
Rita's star was also rising. She joined the Washington Bureau of CBS News, producing and reporting shows such as CBS Evening News, 48 Hours, and Face the Nation. In 1983, she became the network's law correspondent. She covered controversial issues such as the Iran-Contra case, abortion, civil rights, organized crime, and she's known for breaking several stories about notorious spies. As chief White House correspondent, she followed President Bill Clinton throughout the 1996 presidential campaign.
When it was time to leave the White House, I said I wanted to work for Sunday Morning. The head of CBS News almost fainted because I'd always been a hard news reporter. Turns out it's the perfect place for me, and I'm lucky enough to work for the show.
Rita's reports range from arts and entertainment to politics and foreign policy. She's earned 5 Emmy Awards, including 2 for her coverage of the assassination of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. She also received the Joan Barone Award, presented by the Congressional Radio and Television Correspondents Association, for a story on foster care. Today, Bob is a senior partner at the firm Williams & Connolly. He represents corporations like Toyota, McDonald's, and Comcast, and is one of the world's top author representatives. He's negotiated lucrative book contracts for political clients on both sides of the aisle, among them Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Lynn Cheney, George W. Bush, Sarah Palin, and Tony Blair. He also represents countless senators, congressmen, and presidents, as well as more than 350 television news correspondents and producers, including Brian Williams, Leslie Stahl, and Rita Braver. Entertainment Weekly magazine named Bob one of the 100 most powerful people in the entertainment business, and in 2004, he was ranked number 1 on Washingtonian magazine's list of Washington's best lawyers.
Every day is different, and every day is a challenge. I never know who's going to call next. I don't know that I would love being a lawyer if I didn't have the practice I have.
Rita and Bob are looking forward to their next big collaboration. As grandparents, daughter Meredith is expecting her first child in May. Rita's reporting takes her on the road 150 days a year, but the couple tries to make an annual trip to Wisconsin. They also give back to the university as members of the Board of Visitors for the Department of Political Science. Though their busy lives sometimes keep them apart, Bob Barnett and Rita Braver are bound by their commitment to family and friends, their loyalty to the country, and a partnership inspired by their Wisconsin experience.